Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ted and Ed TV program, Following the Money, the Big Connection. I'm telling you, man, we were just sitting here talking, Ed, and we was talking about money, man, and I said they're following the money because that's what we've been doing, man. We've been following the money because it's a lot of stuff going on that a lot of people just really don't know. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about, and really pretty in depth, is HHS, Health and Human Services. How you doing this morning, Ed?
Well, Ted, I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit tired because I've been up late doing some work and stuff on our projects that we have going on. But I'm okay. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk, and hopefully our audience out there is ready to get engaged and stuff with us. So,
all right. Well, one thing that I wanted to sort of kind of do a little history on Health and Human Services. This actually was established in 1953, April 11th. And, I'm old enough to remember what was going on back then, but let me just say the United States Department of Health and Human Services was also known as the Health Department and is a cabinet level department of the U.S. federal government with the goal of protecting the health of all Americans and providing essential human services. Now, that was established in 1953. They administer over 100 programs. They have a discretionary budget is $69 billion, but their regular budget or funds that they spend is over $1 trillion. They provide a lot of great services, as far as that goes, but it's a lot of dealing with grants and contracts, programs and services, but one of the main things that they actually deal with is Medicare and Medicaid. Now, Medicare is 52% of their budget. Medicaid is 36%. So we can all add and subtract. So you figure 52 and 36, that's 88% of the budget goes to those two programs. The rest of those funds goes into administration, all of that kind of thing, and children entitlement programs and other mandatory programs. So what I'm sitting up here thinking, and I look at this budget and it breaks it down into detail of certain things that they actually spend and how much money they do spend in it. In each one of these programs, there's over 30 departments, heads. Each one of them have their own staff, obviously, and they have over 80,000 employees, shuffling paper, administering, and what have you. They support a lot of clinics and hospitals and what have you, because that's the main purpose. However, I don't know how accountable they are as far as where that money is going. We've heard a lot of detail on what's going on as far as A lot of people are, like really sabotaging the program in all kind of ways, positive or rather negative, as far as doing things, falsifying Medicare and that type of thing, and Medicaid expenses, So it's a lot of waste, but then at the same time, there's a lot of things that is they're doing good, but it could be better, because that is a lot of money. And now the thing is that if you are employed, you pay into Medicare. A certain percentage of your salary goes into Medicare. So those funds that you pay into Medicare go directly to funds that they receive. And they receive billions and billions of dollars a year to help pay for Medicare. So basically, we're basically paying for Medicare ourselves, just like we pay for Social Security, and the employee helps on that part too. So there's some programs that are very noticeable, or I should say a lot of publicity when you hear about CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And then you have the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So, and ACF, Administration for Children and Family Services. So a lot of these programs we've heard for, but those are the top three that a lot of funds go into. One of the things that I wanted to sort of kind of talk about here is that even the rural health services, they have what they call as a rural outreach grants. They spend in that services, they have been spending right around $65 billion a year. That's in 17 and 18. But in 2019, they're going to drop it down to 51 billion. And that goes on and on. So 2019, there's going to be a lot of cuts in the budget. So look for a lot of services that's going to be eliminated. In fact, when you look at one of the budgets, they already done cut they cut a whole department, just took the money away. So
as you were talking, we were talking earlier before we came online. Ted was talking about how the government is responsible for a lot of our monies and stuff and everything, and how these programs out there that they have coming up are government programs, and most people don't even like to bother with the government and everything because they are full of paperwork. I mean, full of paperwork. When you go and try to get a contract with them, you got a mountain of paperwork that you're going to have to put forth and everything. And so you can be able to become a contractor and stuff for any one of these services and government services out there. So it is an absolute mess, I think. But I want to get to the reason and stuff why we decided to go into the health and human services and look at them and stuff right now. On our last podcast that we had, I did something and stuff about nursing homes and how the nursing homes have become factories and stuff for our older people to die, and how they are being abused and misused and stuff and everything through that system. So we wanted to reach out into the agency and stuff and everything that puts forth who's actually in control of all those other entities, including the nursing homes, along with the hospitals and clinics and the regional health clinics and stuff that are going on out there, and what they're doing and stuff with them. But every time I hear our representative talk about entitlement, we have to cut entitlement programs. But Social Security, Medicare, not Medicaid, but Medicare especially, our senior programs, and they've already been paid for.
Yep.
The money is there. So why are we worried about cutting entitlements and stuff? Because it's not entitlement, it's something that we paid for. You and I and all of our viewers and stuff out there, all the years that we worked, we always had this 4-letter thing that the first thing that come out of my check. FICA.
Yep.
And a lot of us, Ted, have been working for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yep.
And that FICA, I don't care what happened before I get my check, FICA gets theirs. So I've been paying for this stuff. So it's not an entitlement program. It's something that I paid for.
That's
and
right.
I hate to hear these politicians sit down there and continually talk, especially Republican. We got to cut entitlement. We got to do this. We got to do that. Hey, that's my money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's all of our money that we put into a fund that we told the government that they can manage and stuff for us. Now, the first person who reached into that treasure trove, I mean,
oh, you're gonna go there?
Piggy Bank. We had a piggy bank of money sitting there, and it was like gold. and ORR decided he wanted to go in there and rape that fund, and he did. And it's Ronald Reagan back in 1980 something. He raided. Nobody talks about this and stuff now. How Ronald Reagan went in there and raided the fund to pay down on the national debt that he increased and stuff by giving tax cuts to his friends.
Yep.
And according to him, when he did this, we are going to pay this back.
Mm-hmm.
And not a dime went into paying that back. And nobody,
because the trickle down theory
absolutely
was going to increase the tax. It was going to bring more income in.
Bring more income, and it didn't. But nowadays, every year goes by, we are feeling the effects and stuff of what happened back then. And they are still going and dipping into that fund and not saying anything about it. And now it's supposed to be going down. We don't have that much money and stuff in there because we don't have very many people out there to pay into that fund. Well, you've got millions of baby boomers and stuff now who are coming on board. They paid into that daggone fund, and they deserve to have that money, that Medicare and the Medicaid money and stuff and everything that comes out that takes care of them. And
Social Security.
Social Security also.
Absolutely.
Get your hands off of my Medicare, off my Medicaid, off my Social Security. And I want to let everybody know that anytime when a politician come to me and tell me about an entitlement program, I am going to tell him the absolute truth. Yep. You can't fool me. You are a scoundrel. If you're trying to tell me this is an entitlement program, I don't want to hear it. Leave it alone. But getting back to that, because of what's going on, we're putting our older citizens and stuff into nursing homes.
Yeah.
And one day, Mr. Harvey and all of our viewers out there, some of us are going to be in that nursing home.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have children to take care of you, and
you don't have children,
or besides that, though, you're still going to have some type of nursing and services. When you get elderly, a lot of times you might be bedridden and what have you, and you don't want to be in the hospital. You're going to have nursing services.
Absolutely, and I found out and stuff now that even our citizenry are living longer. So as they're living longer, they're needing more care to make sure they're taken care of. And eventually, and most of the time, Ted, what happens is dementia starts to set in. They start forgetting about some things. My mother-in-law and everything now. She's in a nursing home facility and stuff, and she's getting dementia. All of my people that I know who lived a long time, they got dementia and stuff and everything while they're in there. And when your parents and stuff get dementia and stuff, it's very, very hard to take care of them. Very hard, because they need 24/7 care. And man, you can hear some horror stories out there and stuff as far as they people's parents and stuff and everything that they just cannot take care of. And they hate to put their parents into a nursing home, but they just have to do it because of physical ailments or mental problems and stuff that they have. You know, my wife's uncle and stuff now, he lives in Chicago. They're getting ready to drag him kicking and screaming into a nursing home because he can't live by himself. So it's a horrible mess out there. And I think that we as a country and stuff need to do something about taking care of our senior citizens and also our children. And
Yeah.
we have to do this. That there is something have to be done. And what we have going on now is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You can't keep on abusing your senior citizens and stuff, and abusing your children and not giving them health health coverage and taking care of them. So I'm hoping that we get someone into this Health and Human Services Department and everything who is a head and stuff, and they decide that they want to do something positive and stuff about what's going on out there. Because man, I'm hearing stories, Ted, every day about different things going on, and it's not only with our community and stuff. Yes, poor white folks and stuff running into the same problems and stuff that we are. There was a big article and stuff in Atlanta Journal-Constitution a couple of weeks ago and stuff, how a woman died in the nursing home from, man, this is horrible, pest infestation.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
These lice and stuff ate her up alive.
Wow. Because nobody bothered to clean her and change the bed and all that.
Nobody did anything. And
so what did she eat? That's the question. You know, they just dropped the food off and
they don't care.
That's it.
You have people in these nursing homes, Ted, who do not care anymore because they are owned by conglomerates and stuff through Wall Street. And their thing is to maximize their dividends or whatever for their stockholders, their shareholders.
Or anything that has to do with human beings that making people suffer, you know, that is absolutely wrong. Because I was just reading an article the other day in Utah, and this lady in Utah had 3 children, and she had owed some money. She was on applied for some funds, and she couldn't pay her rent, and she was having difficulty financially, according to the article. And she owed something like $3,700, $3,700, and she didn't. And she was a working mother with 3 children, and I guess she just got so frustrated, she killed her 3 children herself. Now, you know, how can you be that heartless? Because she set up a what is it, a GoFundMe fund, one of those funds where, you know, where they can get ask for money from people on the internet.
Maybe you mean on Facebook?
Yeah,
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe fund. And the journalist that wrote the article said that they took it down once they found out she had passed away. But that's the kind of thing that right now is starting already to hit, because usually when someone is in emergency, and it's a sad thing, you know, like, because obviously she wasn't a member of anyone's church, or maybe she was, I don't know. But the point is that someone should have known something was going on. you know, in that lady's home. She was a single mom. And this is the type of thing, you know, because some people just have pride, you know, especially if you're working and you're trying to take care of your children. And then they come up and say you owe $3,700 because she fell behind on her rent. And, you know, she didn't want to be homeless. I mean, there's no excuse for killing your 3 kids. I mean, you know, maybe she didn't want them to suffer in foster care. You know, that right there is
that's another big.
Oh my goodness, man. Horror stories you hear about that, man. Is just
we are not taking care of our youth and our older people, and that's a horrible thing.
Or single moms.
Yeah.
We're not taking care of single moms. Single moms out there struggling, working, can't get health insurance, children trying to go to school and make a better life for themselves, mothers trying to hold down a job or 2. Some of them got 3 jobs, you know, and, you know, the fathers, I'm just going to say it, put it out there, man. If you're a father, man, and you're not taking care of your children, shame on you. You know, shame on you. And I understand that a lot of people, you know, they're struggling too. You know, they might even be taking money out, you know, for child support or whatever. But how, you know, you can't spend, you know, a day, afternoon with your children, you know, spend time with them to help them out and then support your mothers, you know, support your ex or your girlfriend, whoever you had the babies by, just to see how they doing. You ain't got to, you know, push up on them. You know, every time you see them, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you know, just to support them, you know? You got to push up on them. You got to push up on them.
You got to owe me something now because I done gave you my money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they taking $50 a month or $100 a month out of my check, or $200, some of them, you know, and that's a lot of money, you know, if you're only making $400 or $500 a week, you know. So the bottom line is that I don't know, man. You know, like as far as I'm concerned, you know, the system has set it up that way. You know, in the long run, when we've talked about, you know, how the corporate world, you know, only want to pay you minimum wage or as less as they possibly can. They don't want to put your, they don't want to pay for your health care. They don't want to give you adequate time off when you need it. Your child is sick and too bad. You better get here or you're going to get fired.
And you find out and stuff, Ted, through that a lot of the Republicans out there, to tell you how so far out of touch that they are. They're now trying to pass rules and regulations and stuff through your SNAP program, that's your food stamps, and through your other programs like Section 8, where they're going to increase all this stuff. And part of the rules and regulations that they put out there is that you have to work. Well, yeah. Most of the people, if you look at the thing, most of the people who are on food stamp are working.
Already working.
Most of the people who have Section 8 and are living in these houses have a job.
Yeah, because the rent is too damn high.
It is. Even the subsidized portion of it is high, because a lot of them now, they're paying like $60. They subsidize, and part of their subsidy is that they have to pay $60 and HUD pays the rest of your rent. Well, those $60 and stuff, like you were saying, Ted, if you're only making $100 a week, $200 a week, and $60 got to come out of there to pay for your rent, you haven't even started talking about utilities.
Absolutely.
Cars, you have the transportation, whether the car or riding a bus, transportation. You got to feed your children. You have to go out and take care of all your little business that you have going on. So that little money doesn't go very far.
No, it doesn't. And the thing about it is that you get these people that's got these big power, like we were looking at almost 80,000 people working for HHS, and a lot of them making 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, $150,000 a year. And, you know, that's off the taxpayer dollar. Now, I'm not saying that they don't deserve that money, and a lot of them got masters, PhDs, and all that stuff. But the bottom line is, man, a lot of times, I don't know what the solution is, but I can tell you this, is that they need to be more accountable as far as really helping people, not discouraging people, because there are a lot of people out there that are looking for jobs, better jobs. People are working 2 jobs and they need assistance. You can't live off of $30,000 a year. You just can't.
Mm-mm.
Not today's market, because
not today's market. Yeah. and then you're talking about greed and stuff, because I'm pretty sure that the Health and Human Services Department and stuff and everything automatically said a certain percentage of their budget and stuff is going to fraud. People are stealing the money. You got doctors, you got clinics, you got health providers, you got the pharmaceutical industry. All of them are sitting out there and perpetrating fraud. Scamming the money because the money is there, and so they're going to scam it, even though they don't have to do this, but they're doing it anyway. They're scamming the money and stuff off of the backs of the people and stuff who've already paid for that stuff and everything. So we have a huge problem and stuff out there, Ted, and I don't know exactly what anybody's going to be able to do with it and everything, because it has gotten so out of hand that
and it's been going on for years and years,
and it's getting worse. It's not getting any better, and nobody wants to try to do anything better because they're blaming this the whole system and stuff on the people and stuff who the services were meant for.
Right.
People.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't know if you saw it when 45 signed a what do they call it? He signed actually I call it a discrimination bill. It wasn't a bill, it's an executive order that now certain areas or certain people, if it's against your religion, like if you don't want to participate in certain things, you don't have to service them. So like if it's against your religion, like if you don't want to deal with a gay person and they're gay and you don't want to service them, you don't have to, because it's against your religion. Or if you don't want to assist anybody, who is planning an abortion, or a person, whatever, if you don't want to give contraceptions, you don't have to do that. So it's a lot of things that's going on that the government should not be involved in as far as helping people, because it's about human services. And I disagree with what he signed. I don't even believe he know what he was signing.
He had no idea what he was doing.
Because you're going to get a lot of lawsuits now. A lot of people they getting government money. They getting government money. And they're going to sit up here and they're going to discriminate. And these people pay into all of these funds themselves, just like the rest of us have done. So now you're going to get all these lawsuits now. Once they feel they're discriminated against. And a lot of them going to win those suits. And then who's paying for it? The taxpayer.
Absolutely. And that's the money and stuff that's supposed to be going back in the poor people's pockets to take care of them. So you're taking money away from them again. So I go back to what I was saying, those politicians who are sitting out there, they are sitting up there and they have no idea what is going on out there with their constituents.
So, I keep on hearing excuse me, cutting y'all, I keep on hearing talking about Jesse Jackson and what's the other guy's name? Al Sharpton. They call them poverty pimps. But let me tell you this: the poverty pimps are the people that's in this service, in this HHS, because that's what they're doing. They are living off the government. Now, some of them, not all of them, it's a majority of them are probably giving excellent service. They're doing the right thing. We're not talking about all of them, but what I'm talking about, they are the poverty pimps. They sit around here. Some of them are lavishly living off of the government, making $150,000, and trying to get raises and positions and titles and all that kind of stuff. You got 30 departments, man. We don't even have time enough to even read all these different departments and what they do. 30 departments.
Well, you're getting back again. The Republicans say we got to have smaller government, and they bring their catchphrase out. We need smaller government, but at the end of their tenure or whatever, the government hasn't gotten smaller; it's gotten bigger.
Gotten bigger.
Not smaller. They making it bigger.
But they make it bigger. But they directing that money to their own friends and family and what have you. It's not going to poor people.
Fattening their pocket up. So it is a mess and stuff that is going on.
But let me just say this, and this is just my own interpretation. I've been believing this for 50 years. The reason why they started this HHS, which is a good service, but in 1953, they didn't want to give Black people reparations, what they deserved, because that was the big push. Back in the 60s, man, that was a big push. Mm-hmm. So they started providing all of these welfare programs and this service and that service, and then all these rules and regulations. Well, the daddy can't live in the house, the mama and the children. Then they start breaking up the family and all that kind of mess, and because the father can't find a job and not like he's not looking, So now you got to get out the house. You understand? So I think that was the whole reason why a lot of these different programs and what have you started. And it was stopping the progress of Black people. That's what it was doing, because I don't know about your parents, but my parents migrated from the South to the Midwest for better lifestyle, for a living, to work and what have you. And that's what they did. But, and everybody has hard times. Because I know my family had hard times, but for a couple of years, my old man had to get out the house. We were on welfare for 2 years. On welfare for 2 years, man, because my old man had to go find a job somewhere else out of the state. Until and then when he came back and got us, then that's when we moved out to Hopkins. And I'm telling you, man, the point is that the government does not want the family to stay together, at least the Black family. And a lot of Black families were broken up because of it. Because what did the women say? Well, you can't find a job and you can't keep a job. Well, the Black man was discriminated against, from getting jobs and what have you. And the only kind of jobs he could get at that time, back in the late 50s and the early 60s, was being a sanitation worker or a bus driver or working for the post office.
That's a government job.
That's right. All of them are government jobs.
Government job.
Yeah, all of them are government jobs. And so, because, the corporations back then, they weren't hiring, man, unless you was exceptional. And then the factories start opening up because the reason why, because they want to break those unions up. That's the reason why the union, we kept on back in the 60s. You know how many strikes, man, when I first got out of high school, man, I had 2 union jobs and both of them went on strike. One in St. Louis and one in Kankakee. And I said, man, forget this crap. Let me go back let me get me a college education so I can at least keep a job.
You know what I'm saying? Without being a union worker, huh?
Yeah. Because you want to make more money and more have better benefits, but you're out of a job for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Every time they strike. And each time they call you back. After you've been out of work, then you draw unemployment. And you're lucky if you get $150 a week, if that. Back then, I don't know how much it was. But the point is, that's the way it worked, because back then we had 30% of the people that were union in this country. Now it's less than 10%.
Absolutely. Those companies, those huge conglomerates are breaking up these companies, breaking these people up, and they're closing down good jobs and everything, and then open them back up and everything, and then say this is non-union here, and the government and your government officials and stuff are allowing them to do it. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, but what do we do and stuff, Ted? I don't know. It seems like this is a big problem and stuff out there. But what do we do? Where can we make a place and stuff here inside of this whole big mess that's going on? How can we, affect this change or whatever? I don't know if our people and stuff who are viewing what we are doing and stuff around there and what we're talking about understand and stuff what the solution and stuff is and stuff to what's happening. Should we tell them to go out there and feed at the trough like the rest of them are and go out there and be dealing in fraud or whatever, or take the money and stuff as other folks and stuff are doing?
Man, let me tell you something.
Or do they?
If they do any kind of fraud or anything, they will get caught. Black folks get caught. That has been proven through the years. Okay, we got 2 or 3 people right here in Florida right now, congressmen that's been got caught spending money. But you got these other people running around here blowing money like crazy. Ain't nobody saying a word.
Yeah, I know, girlfriend over there in Duval County. I think, did they lock her up yet?
Oh, look, but it's just crazy, man. I mean, the stuff that, white supremacy is real, man. It is. It is. I mean, white entitlement is real. And, I guess I wouldn't say it's fair, but, you can expect it. You might as well expect it. Because they're gonna take care of their own, and that's what they've been doing, because we got a person in office right now, 45, should have been gone. All the stuff he done. I mean, and the stuff that he had broke the law already,
He's the biggest thief out there. And he's supposed to be our role model.
He getting away with it. So, they letting him do it, because obviously he's above the law. He's above the law.
Well,
wait a minute. Didn't they say that you could not own a government facility because he don't own that building, that hotel. He just renting it. Did he buy it? Maybe he did buy it, but still, it was a government entity, and they said that you cannot do business in there because what you're doing is you breaking the, what they call it, the emolument clause or something.
Emolument Act.
Yeah. And what did they do about it?
That's because he put it in his children's hands. See, he took all of his stuff and everything and told his children, you all can run it while I'm the president. And then when I stop being president, then I can come back and run it again. But there are some lawsuits out there again, Ted, through the emolument clauses and stuff out there. There have been some state folks, I think in New Jersey or somewhere and everything, where they file a case and stuff against him for it. But by the time it gets through the court system and everything gets done with it, old 45 would be gone off into the sunset and doing the same thing he's been doing already. So he is probably one of the biggest jokes and stuff that we have out there. But sometimes, you just can't just reflect upon him. We just got to figure out the stuff how we can go out and make a change and stuff and everything ourselves. Some kind of way we have to do this. Now, one point that I want to make and stuff here, Ted, that I wrote an article and stuff about last week was that National History Black Museum in Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, the Lynching Museum and stuff that the gentleman and stuff decided to build to have something, some kind of memorial and stuff out there that tells people and stuff about slavery and how it had an effect and stuff upon our society and how
on all the families.
Yeah, and how they have as the decades and stuff are going by now, we are forgetting about the people and stuff and everything who were actually brought here and stuff in chains, who were our ancestors. And this attorney and stuff now, he decided one of his goals and stuff was to build this thing, and he built it right there and right next to almost to the capital of Alabama, Montgomery, at the state capitol there. And I'm going to go there and stuff sometime this summer. I'm going to stop down there and look at it, take some pictures and everything, and some videos and stuff of what's going on there, because I think a lot of our young folks and stuff need to know, because our history is being forgotten.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, I heard him on one of the radio shows talking about it. Very articulate guy, very smart. He's a lawyer, and he has a lot of other people that has collaborated with him, other lawyers, to get all of this done, and it was a lot of work to research all this. We're talking about almost 5,000 people. And that went up to 1950, when these people was just dragging people out of their houses. If you even look at a person wrong, they'll grab you out your house and lynch you, you know. And they used to have, he was saying that they used to have lynching parties. People will come around as though it's like some kind of entertainment thing going on to lynch someone, lynching women and children, the whole thing. It was just, it's just horrible, man. He told quite a few stories, and I'm telling you, man, it'll make you, you know, tears will just fall from your eyes, man, because it's just unbelievable, you know, how heartless people are. You know, it's just unbelievable, you know, and they always say, you know, that you reap what you sow. Karma is a bitch. It's a true statement, and I'm telling you, a lot of people don't know, man. A lot of stuff come on people, man, because of certain things that, you know, what the father did, you know, what the mama did, you know, and it comes back on the children. So who knows? You know, we see this opium thing going on, what they call it. It's not opium. Opiate crisis.
Opiate crisis.
And they're saying most of that stuff is all in the white neighborhood.
Yeah,
a lot of these, and the thing about it, they're talking about 60,000 people have died from this last year. People are over, you know, it's crazy. Well, and now they have boosted up. They're gonna put billions of dollars in it to help these people. Yes. Did anybody help the crack babies?
No, no. But they and like the murder going on in our community and stuff, the same thing is going on. If you had all these white folks and stuff out there getting killed like they are in our community, then there would be a national crisis on it. But this thing, the opiate crisis and stuff, Ted, is through prescription drugs. Most of these folks are abusing prescription drugs, so they're taking these drugs and painkillers and stuff and everything, and they're abusing them and they're using them. So it's you know, it's a real big mess out there. But to get back to that National Lynching Museum, the gentleman and stuff there, like you said, he has attorneys and stuff out there, and they're donating part of their time and stuff to help people to get out of jail. To go ahead and try to have attorneys and stuff available and everything to them, so they can get bond and everything and stuff for them, because a lot of our people and stuff are going to jail on misdemeanor crimes and stuff and everything, and they can't get out of jail because they can't pay the bond, so they're staying in jail and stuff for 7-8 months and stuff and everything until their trial date comes up. And by that time and stuff, they lost their job, they lost their house, they lost their family, they lost everything. So his thing that's that jail system that imprison people, and not in prison. They're not in prison, they're in jail. They're in jail.
That what they do is they arrest almost 1 million people every year. And those people that can't pay their bond, like you just said, you know, they
are sitting there in prison from a misdemeanor crime, a misdemeanor. I mean, something that's
not in prison, they're in jail.
They're in jail. They're in jail for a misdemeanor crime. And I wrote an article and stuff till about a month and a half ago about some of these states here in the South. Their sheriffs are in charge of their jails.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Alabama that was a big thing down there with them. They had a sheriff in one of the counties and stuff down there. He went and bought him a $500,000 beachfront home off of the money that he saved from administering the jail there in his county. And it was legal. It was on the books. Anytime these county sheriffs and stuff and everything, that's why when you start having the elections and stuff and everything, there's certain offices and stuff that the white folks said they have to maintain no matter what. One of them is the county sheriff. He has absolute power.
Hey, that's that Wild Wild West mentality, like Wide Earth.
Yeah.
Like you get a commission.
And he gets, whatever money, the state gives him so much money for each prisoner that comes in there. And the money he saves from those prisoners and stuff goes into a pot. And then he has access to that pot of money. And that money and stuff, he can put it in his pocket and do whatever he want to do with it. And another position and stuff out there that the white folks got to get is your state's attorney's job.
Yep.
Those people have the power to enslave or jail our population.
Yep. Absolutely. And those it's been some real horrible people that have had those positions and just arresting people on no evidence and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And they put that, what they call that, it's not a jury, it's I can't even think of the name of it, but they have this group of people that listen to them and see if it can go to court and all that kind of stuff, and then they end up going to court and getting prison terms.
So these are not very glamorous positions and stuff for us. It's not like running for a congressperson or being on the school board or running for the governor's job or whatever and stuff. They are non-glamorous positions, but they are very, very, very important and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hoping that through people listening to us and everything, that they start looking at who they are voting for in these jobs and stuff, these positions that are out there that nobody actually wants because they don't see anything for it. You have to realize that these are very, very important positions out there, and you need to get involved. And if you can't get someone and stuff to run for those offices and stuff, that you need to put somebody in there that's going to think like you think and going to do what you need to do and stuff to help, and not to do terror and stuff and everything and break down and tear us down as a community or whatever. So,
well, one of the things that that people don't realize what's going on, man, they've already nearly appointed hundreds of judges that's supposed to be, ultimate, like crime, they supposed to be, obviously, conservative, so-called conservative judges, that's going to go by the law and blah, 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 and what have you. And, this man had put in like 70 judges lifetime judges put in office. And they still got quite a few more to go. And this is going to affect different parts of the country, as far as justice. So I don't know, what's fair, there are, let me just say this, I'm against crime. Put it just like that.
Absolutely.
I'm against crime. You ain't got no business busting in nobody's house. You ain't got no business stealing cars. You ain't got no business going into these stores and stealing. And I'm against crime. You ain't got no business using violence on people. And that's what the police officers are supposed to be preventing or trying to stop. However, you know, there are some things that are happening, you know, that is just not fair. And that's the judicial system. And it's unbelievable. You know, I mean, behavior, there are people that's going to misbehave and they make a mistake. And a lot of people need a second chance. But then when you're talking about, you know, habitual, constantly, you can't keep, you know, get out of jail, you spend 3 years, steal a car, then you stay out for 6 months, and then you steal another car. And then get in jail for another 3 years just for stealing the car. Don't you know that you can pay for a car in 3 years? Get a job? Or you can make it loan, you can make the loan 7 years if you want to. Make it cheaper. Whatever. You know, if you want a car that bad, you know, or whatever, you know, if you want money, man, get a job. You know. I mean, if you want money that bad, you know, they won't hire me. Well, keep looking.
And that's the excuse.
Create your own job. Create your own job.
That's the excuses going on out there.
Create your own job.
And we, as a society and stuff, along with the county sheriffs and stuff who are out there, if you are incarcerating someone, and the only thing that that person has to do is while he's incarcerated is sit there and weight lift. You know, I got to pick up weights and everything. Well, instead of strengthening your body, strengthen your mind.
Well, you should strengthen your body too, but I mean, come on, you got basically the mind is the one that's going to make you some money, you know, and you figure out different ideas and look at entrepreneurship and that type of thing, you know, and create. It's a lot of brilliant, and I don't even have to be there. I know it's a lot of brilliant people in the prison system that had all kind of great ideas and very smart, very articulate, know a whole lot of stuff. They've been reading and studying and what have you. And it's a waste. It's a waste. It's absolutely a waste. And you got these single mothers that do not have a father. I mean, do not have a husband. And you got the Black women that don't have a husband. And there are good women out there that are looking for men. And you go up there and you got over 1 million Black men that are in jail or in prison.
More than a million, sir. So I bought in that. They're in the system, either in jail or in prison, or they are in the system.
Yeah,
they're out on probation or something's going on and stuff there, or they're doing community service or whatever.
I know it's hey, anybody tell me, I know it's hard out there, bro, because let me tell you, I done walked off of many jobs. I ain't taking no crap from nobody. You know, if you don't treat me right, bye, I'm gone. Because I can get me another job.
Well, you're a rarity and stuff, Ted, because a lot of people and stuff don't feel they got to get a job, so they'll take the easy way out, commit a crime. I'm gonna rob somebody, I'm gonna go out there and shoot somebody, or the main number one thing that most of the people in our community are doing, I'm gonna sell drugs because that's the only thing that can put money in my pocket. Everybody can't sell drugs. Everybody can't be basketball players or football players, professional ball players. So you're gonna have to get out there and work and do something positive and stuff about yourself.
Yeah, get a skill, man, you know, and do something, you know, like, hey, you know, it's 100 openings out this week that's around in the neighborhood or somewhere in the city or whatever. You know, I don't care if it's whatever it is, janitorial work or whatever. You know, if you don't have a skill, man, everybody can clean.
Everybody can clean something out there. And so let's get into our next thing, Ted, our big connection, because we're going to give all those folks out there who are trying to do some inspiration.
Well, my thing is always this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you, my thing is always this: fast and pray. That's what Jesus said.
Fast and pray.
Because see, in order to the strong man to me is evil and wickedness. That's the strong man. You know, they call him the devil or whatever. It's evilness and wickedness. People that are unrighteous and think they so-called righteous or whatever because they got theirs. But the point is, fast and pray. That's what Jesus said, man. Fast and pray. That'll keep the strong man off you. That means the strong man is the government, evil, whatever, people that's in that system, the corporations that's that's bogging you down, because when you fast and pray, it's something about that spirit. And I'm not a religious person, but I'm a very spiritual person. I pray all the time. And the point is that if you fast and pray and you bind those spirits, because, you know, we are spirits. And so therefore, everyone, human being, can allow an evil spirit to come upon you, and wickedness. And some people are just wicked because they don't know no better. So therefore, you know, if you want to get what you want, it's a mental thing. Educate yourself and fast and pray and get into the word. Know the word. You know, the Bible says rightly divide the word. And if you rightly divide that word and learn that word, I have certain scriptures that I use all the time. And the point is, you know, because, you know, the Bible says work out your own salvation. That word salvation means rescue. Rescue yourself. Work out your own rescue in fear and trembling, you know? And whatever hangups you got or faults you got or addictions you got, hey, work on yourself. That's what you got to do. You got to work on yourself to get rid of those, whatever it is. You know, if you go out partying too much, slack it up. Ain't nothing wrong with going having a party every now and then and going out partying and dancing, but slack it up. You ain't got to go 3, 4, 5 times a week. You know what I'm saying? If you're drinking too much, slack it up. If you're drinking that hard liquor, slack it up.
So, you know? Have you got anything and stuff, Ted, for us to eat and everything to put into our body, some cleansing in our body?
Well,
because you have some.
This is what I'm doing this week. This is what I'm doing this week. I'm taking a lemon and baking soda. Not baking soda, but what is it? Not baking soda. I can't even think of the name of the thing now. But you take a lemon and you take some soda, and you put that soda on there. Get you some Armstrong soda, and you put that Arm & Hammer soda, and put that lemon on there, and squeeze that in there. What that does is that purifies your body. So
you drink that?
Yes.
You take a lemon, you squeeze a lemon, and put the baking soda in the water, or inside the lemon, and then drink it, and then drink it.
And drink it. Drink it straight down. Now, if you don't like the taste, a bit too bitter, put a little honey in there, you know. But the point is, you know, that right there, it fights off a lot of things. It fights off a lot of things. So you got some strange stuff there. I'm telling you.
Well,
I'm telling you, man, and you'll feel better too. There's a lot of things what both of those items does for you. A lemon is, you should really eat a lemon a day. Really. Put it in your water. Put that lemon in your water.
Yeah, well, most people do that. When they go out to restaurant, they have a lemon and water and stuff in there, and they put it in there.
They only put a slice in there, man. You need a whole lemon.
You need a whole lemon. Well, just ask them for it. Hey, bring some more lemons out here and keep it in there. But anyway, you brought something up and stuff there that I was looking at. We have baking soda that we use. My wife buys these boxes. They only like about 50 cents or 60 cents and everything. But I use the baking soda and everything to brush my teeth.
Brush your teeth, wash your face.
Soak your feet. I wash my face with it. I brush my teeth with it. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how good it works for washing your face.
Oh, I ain't never washed my face with it. It's kind of rough there, but I do brush my teeth, and I save a lot of money and stuff now because I don't have to buy toothpaste at all. You know,
you don't have all that other crap in it neither. You know?
Oh yeah, it's just pure baking soda and everything, and I use that and stuff now and everything, and my teeth and gums and everything feel very good and everything, and nice and healthy or whatever. So that's an idea. I'm not taking it internally and stuff, but I guess I am because as you're brushing your teeth and everything, some of that stuff you're gonna swallow it a little bit of it anyway.
Hey, put a teaspoon in there and drink it straight down, man. Put a teaspoon and put some water and drink it straight down.
I might try that and stuff with me.
try and soak your feet, man. I mean, that is really good for soaking your feet.
Baking soda?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
no, I use Epsom salt.
Epsom salt is good too.
Epsom salt.
But baking soda is really good because it takes a lot of all that stuff out of your system. Sort of kind of infiltrates your bloodstream, and breaks through the skin. And plus, it takes a lot of that gooey stuff off your feet.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to tell my wife about that then, because
and usually I put a teaspoon of vinegar in there.
Now that's another thing and stuff that I do every now and then. I give me some apple cider vinegar and I'll mix it in a little water and I'll drink that in the morning.
That's good.
That's nasty.
Oh yeah, I don't like that taste neither.
It's nasty.
I know.
But for some reason or another, that vinegar is horrible, but it settles my stomach. I don't have my stomach getting all queasy and all the other stuff and everything. It's settling my stomach very nice, and I can go through the whole day and everything without any problem. Now, when I don't take it for a week or two, then sometimes I decide, hey, I better go back to it again and stuff. But I just can't get by that taste, man. I put as much water as I can in there. That taste is just horrible.
I mean, medication is fine, for people, that have to take it and doctors recommend it, but I just personally try to stay away from all medications as much as possible. I just don't want them because it's too many after stuff that happens. It'll affect other parts of your body.
Most of your liver and your kidneys and stuff. Because if you look at the material, say the data sheets and stuff on all your medications you take and everything, you're right. It shows that it destroys. Man, you got so many things that is. Sometimes the cure it doesn't.
Isn't worth it.
So
it was worth it, man.
Yeah. So anyway,
and it's expensive too, man. You start using that stuff every month.
Oh yeah. Well, people, we're about at the end of our show here and everything, but I've enjoyed myself today. I really have. So hopefully we'll keep this stuff going. And you guys out there, I just looked at our library and stuff of videos, and we're up to 75 videos and stuff now on our TedEd TV channel. So with this weekly and sometime twice a week videos that we're putting out there, you guys can go on TedEd TV channel on YouTube and everything and just pick out any one of those videos that you want to listen to and everything, and you got a huge variety and stuff there. We are trying to perfect these videos and stuff now to where when you open them up, there's a history and stuff down there what we're going to be talking about. If you notice and stuff, all during our conversation, I'm writing some things down so I can put a history and stuff down there to letting people know and stuff what we talked about and stuff, what we are talking about doing the video. So you can pick out the videos that you want to talk about. This week and stuff is mostly health and human services. We talk about HUD and stuff and our budget and all that, nursing home, children and family services, National Lynching Museum. Well, when you look down at the legend and stuff down there in those videos, you're going to see all those topics and stuff that we talked about.
And don't forget our blog, Ed.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget our blog. Yeah. Go on Facebook or go onto the website there and do it. We are doing constantly doing improvements and stuff out there and stuff for media and stuff to get people to watch us and see what we're doing and pick up our audience, get our audience to be a lot larger. And if anybody have any comments about what we're doing and stuff, make sure that you go to our website, our blog and everything, and then put them down.
And you don't have to agree with us with things we say. We agree to disagree, and that's fine and wonderful. We love good ideas and different ideas and what have you. Just don't bring no negative stuff here. That's all.
Yeah.
We're bringing the best we got on our opinions. A lot of them are things that we're saying are facts. And to our knowledge, the truth.
It is the truth. It is the truth because we've been through a lot of things like you talked about when this welfare program. A lot of people don't realize and stuff because we are older and stuff how the welfare system came aboard, and I've forgotten about it a little bit about how they got the welfare thing. And there was a movie out that talked about the welfare, and it was called Claudine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I watched that at least once a year. I pull out the DVD and watch that, bro.
Yeah, Claudine, you have to watch that, man. It gives you a real good example and stuff of what was going on then, and how, like you said, the welfare program ran the husbands and stuff out of the homes. It ran them out. You couldn't come there, and how they would, when the welfare lady comes around there and she's looking at you, you can't have an iron, you can't have an ironing board, you got a TV and stuff in your home, you got to take all that stuff and hide it because you can't have that stuff. You on welfare, you can't have it. So it was a horrible system and stuff that they had, and our generation after us and during that time and stuff, it really ruined us and created a society and stuff and everything to where we look at things, at free things that we're supposed to have. That society owes us something, and that's why a lot of our citizenry and stuff do not want to go out there and work because they figure that somebody owes us something. No, you don't owe you nothing. You have to get out there and work at it. And I still remember James Brown, I guess it was, when he was talking about open the door and I'll get it myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just open the door
so
and I'm gonna get it myself.
I don't want nobody to give me nothing.
Nobody give me nothing. Just open the door and I'll get it myself.
The door is open. Hey,
the door is open.
Know, and then whatever I gotta do,
get it. You better go get it. Go get it. And that's how I am. And I know that's how you are, Ted. I'm gonna go get it. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna find out how to do it. I'm gonna find out how to start up. That's how I learned how to build websites. That's how I learned how to put blogs and stuff together, because I don't want nobody to give me nothing. I'm gonna go get it myself. And if everybody have that idea and stuff and everything, we can displace our community and a lot better place.
And they shouldn't get it twisted, because we know that people have hard times.
Absolutely.
And different things happen. Somebody in the family might get sick that's working or whatever. So therefore, you're going to need that safety net, and that's what it's for.
Absolutely.
Basically, like you said, go ahead on and get it yourself.
Get it yourself. And I tell, man, like you just said about how things are bad. You might wake up, man, it's real bad. I tell my children all the time, I say, keep getting up.
There you go.
I don't care what's going on. Keep getting up, because it's going to change. And sometimes your solution and stuff is not right there at hand. Sometimes your solution and stuff is 2 weeks down the road.
Yeah, that's right.
There are times, Ted, that I work on a program. I've been working on changing our hosting plan. It's taken me over 2 weeks now to get this thing and stuff done. I'm still not complete, but I keep working at it every day, just a little bit. Keep working at it every day. You keep working at it every day, and next thing I know, I'm gonna look back. Everything's gonna be set up right. It's gonna be just the way I want it to be done. But there are problems that's gonna happen all the time, so you just gotta work through them problems, and everything will be okay.
That's right.
So, I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
We're preaching. We're preaching.
Hey, I'm over here in the amen corner.
Amen corner, okay. All right, people. We will see you next week or maybe Wednesday if we get a chance to got some topics to talk about. So we'll see you all. Bye-bye.